Welcome back. Okay, so we had 2 games on this evening, and as you see, I've got the Chrome logos up for all 4, which, worked out pretty well. When I was setting up this board, I was like, right, I've got Chrome logos for all of them. So, there you go. And that's it for tonight. That's it for the last games of 2021. It's been interesting, right? 2021's been interesting. I think we're all kicking 2021 out the door. Can't believe Betty White of all people. Anyways, we'll start off with the New York Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Definitely the more entertaining of the 2 games. No offense to this game, but this was the more entertaining of the 2. So it's Shesterkin versus Elliott in this one. So Elliott cleared to play. And so Tampa Bay not having the problem they had against Florida, which was, they had numerous problems against Florida, but the goaltending was not great. So it's a chess match for about the first 5 minutes. I don't think there were any shots. There might have been one. I found one shot clock that said nothing. So, Strome has a chance to deflect out. Stamkos has one that's blocked. Tampa Bay presses after that. We get a power play for the Rangers. They played a video tribute to Barclay Goodrow. And it's a good thing they played it there, because if they tried playing it after this game, I think he might have got booed. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Strong penalty kill by the Bolts did kill it off. I thought it was interesting, too, that they showed the video tribute before the power play. I thought that's a nice way to cool down the power play, guys. Sergachev then has a backhander. That's saved. Tampa Bay gets a power play. Pretty aggressive penalty kill by the Rangers. Colton was denied. It's killed off. The shots with 7.5 minutes left were only 4-1 for Tampa. Then we get a crossbar for point on a turnover by Adam Fox. Shesterkin saves, and I thought it was the best shift for the Bolts to that point in the game. With 1:45 left, the Bolts get a power play. It takes 6 seconds. 6 seconds to cash in on the power play. It's Stamkos from Hedman and Palat at 18:21. And so after the first period, it's 1-0, and I thought this was a fantastic start for Tampa Bay. They definitely hit a lot of the marks they would want to coming out of that embarrassment against Florida. No goals against, very few shots. I don't know if the Rangers had a really good opportunity in that first period, but I thought Tampa Bay played great. But this is where you bring up that whole thing about you're only up by 1. Second period, early power play for the Bolts. We then had a shorthanded chance for Kreider that was defended. That power play, though, was killed off. Kachuk then with a wraparound, that saved. The shots are 5-0 for the Bolts at 4 minutes. So what could turn things around and maybe reverse the momentum? How about your goaltender passing it to the other team? Elliott passes it to Lafreniere. He knew that there was a Ranger bearing down on him, and he made a bad decision. Lafreniere with the easiest goal he's going to get in his career. Nobody's in the net at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So yes, that's the kind of thing the Rangers needed at that point. Kachuk tries to answer after that. Kreider was then denied on a rush opportunity. Things get kind of pushy-shovey with 9 minutes and 50 seconds left. Teams not liking each other very much. I know it's a shocker in a hockey game to see that, right? Hedman then with a blast that goes wide. The Rangers end up getting a power play shortly thereafter. Zibanejad had a shot that wouldn't go. Bolts clear it out, and then they end up in a situation where Kakko takes a penalty, so we get 27 seconds of 4-on-4. The Bolts get a power play after that. There's a shorthanded chance for Kreider. It doesn't go, but Goodrow does score shorthanded from McKaig at 14:30. So that makes it 2-1 for the Rangers all of a sudden. Kind of out of nowhere. Maroons then denied. The Rangers do kill it off, and the momentum was in their favor. However, momentum seemed to work against teams because Colton scores from point and Killorn at 17:31. So all of a sudden, Tampa Bay, they tie it up at 2. There's a post for Corey Perry in the final minute. The Rangers get a power play with 45 seconds left. That rolls over into the third period. The Bolts would finish off the kill. There's a stretch pass to Strome. That's defended. The New York Rangers with the 3-on-2. Gauthier fires it high. Hunt, Kachuk are unfriendly. We end up with some 4-on-4 out of that. Kachuk, it looked like he hurt his hand on that play as well. Hedman with a rush chance. That's saved. Fox gets a break, and the puck trickles wide. Palat fires one wide. The Bolts press after that. The action was picking up in the second half, and Barclay Goodrow scores the second of the game against his former teammates in front of his former fans from Keandre Miller and Panarin at 13:35. And it was a screenshot, and it was a set play off of a faceoff that Tampa Bay didn't like because they felt that it shouldn't have been icing on the previous play. And so after that goal goes in, that linesman apparently got quite the earful from the Tampa Bay Lightning and just kind of let him vent it all out. Bolts then out of 3-on-2. The Rangers defend that. They pull the goaltender with 2:25 left. And Corey Perry scores from Stamkos at 18:03. And then Corey Perry, as he passes by the Rangers bench, kind of pointed at him. So, Corey Perry getting involved in this numerous ways. So, the Bolts press for the lead after that. We then end up, though, with a delay game call on Sergachev with 1:14 left. That puts the Rangers on the power play. Panarin was denied. The Bolts would clear it out. And so we go to overtime. That power play, of course, it rolls over into the overtime as a 4-on-3. The Rangers control right off the face-off. They resume the power play. Fox's shot was blocked, and the power play's killed off. Point has a net drive. That was defended. He didn't get there. Trouba has a shot that's saved and held. The Bolts win a face-off. They cycle the puck, but then the Rangers get it. When Fox has it, he sets up the play, goes back a lot. This was one of those overtimes where they were basically killing the clock. I've always found that weird in overtime when you're 3-on-3 and you're trying to kill the clock. Because again, so you want the shootout. It's weird. Strome with a glove shot and Strome with a shot, and it's a glove save that follows that. Gaudreau fires one wide on a rush. Man, if you got the hat trick there, could have got another video package. But we go to the shootout, and in the shootout, it is Zibanejad that gets the winner. So the Rangers win 4-3 in a shootout. They go to 28-4. The Tampa Bay Lightning, with the shootout loss, go to 21-7-5. So they do get the point. The shots in this one, Tampa Bay outshot them 10-3 in the first. Rangers outshoot them 12-10 in the second. The shots were 8-6 in the third for Tampa. Both shots in the overtime go to the Rangers. Final shots 28-23 for Tampa. Power plays 0-4 for the Rangers, 1-4 for Tampa. Hits were 31-29 for Tampa. Shesterkin saves 25 out of 28. Elliott saves 20 out of 23. And yes, we're all going to wait and see when Vasilevsky comes back what a difference that makes. I'm thinking a lot. But, we are where we are. And for Tampa Bay, they do get a point out of it. And it's a huge 2 points for the Rangers. It really is. And so we'll see whether or not they're back on another hot streak starting with this game. All right, next up, Washington. Washington played a pretty good road game, although the first period was kind of slow for them. So it's Samsonov versus Grace. Early chances for the Wings. Fabry had a rush chance that was saved. Ovechkin has a blast that hits the post. Protas with a chance that's saved. Some good back and forth action at this point. The shots are 5-3 for the Wings at 7.5 minutes. Pretty open play. Good opportunities. Mickey Redmond's an absolute treasure. Talked about Wilson. And when you talk about Wilson, if you're younger, you'd think, does he mean the volleyball? Right? And no, that's not what he meant. Does he mean the neighbor on Home Improvement? Nope. Think further back. He's talking about Dennis the Menace. So the funny thing was, Ken Daniels said, Dennis the Menace, kids, you can Google that and find out what that is. So Mickey's old jokes they never really get tired for me, and Mickey is completely fantastic. He's good with them. He doesn't get mad about it. He's just awesome. So Nemesnikov had a chance that saved. Ernie nearly buries one. The Wings really had the edge at this point in the game. Caps were in fact stuck on 3 shots for quite a while, and that's that first period. Kempney has a rush chance go high with 18.3 seconds left. The Wings get a power play. Now, to start the second period, and this is where the game gets a little bit fuzzy for me. At 1:43, Suter scores what is considered to be a power play goal, maybe not a power play goal. 1 second left on the power play, not a power play goal. 0-3 down here tells me eventually they changed this where it wasn't a power play goal. And then we'll get into where it does say 1-3 here and my question about that. So Suter from Gagne Nemesnikov at 1:43, apparently not a power play goal just as the power play ends. Wings press for another. The shots are 4-2 for the Wings at 7 minutes. Ovechkin with a wrister, that's kicked aside. Larkin has a break. He hits Samsonov in the mask. Hagelin was denied and close. Caps press with 9.5 minutes left. Then they get a little overzealous, and Tom Wilson ends up taking a roughing penalty, so the Wings go to the power play. Nemesnikov was denied during that. The Capitals did kill that off. Seider was leading rushes like he's a rover, not a defenseman, but that's Seider's game. That's part of his game anyways. Moritz Seider's a fantastic defenseman. Kuznetsov, though, would score from Johansson and Irwin at 15:53. So that ties up the game. That is the 450th point of Kuznetsov's. But they kept the puck because that's Lucas Johansson's first NHL point. A defenseman that I have been vocal about, wanting to see in the NHL and hoping he does well. Nice to see that he scores in what I'm pretty sure is his NHL debut tonight. At the very least, his first game this season, right? So there you go. Johansson with an assist and Irwin with the other helper. Oshie then with a net feed. It gets punched away by Larkin, but it's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Caps get an early power play. That was killed off by the Red Wings. It allowed one shot. Ovechkin then has a shot that's snagged. Bertuzzi tries to go 1-on-4. His line's changing, so it doesn't work, and then he goes to the bench, so he did what he had to do in order to get the line change in there. I just always kind of get a chuckle when I see a guy going, yeah, that's it, I'm going to do it myself, and he's going through 4 guys. Shots are 5-2 for the Caps at the half. The Caps were really determined to come out of this game with 2 points against a Detroit team that has a very good home record. So we get Sider throwing some checks. Things get scrappy after that. That leads to 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Backstrom has a chance that's saved, and then with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left, the Caps find themselves on the power play. One that Wings fans and announcers weren't very happy about. Mickey then called intentional offsides during that power play. They end up just giving he was right. It should have been intentional offside. They don't call that as much as I think they could. And an intentional offside just meaning that if you play the puck when you know it's offside, the faceoff's supposed to go back to your zone. Otherwise, it's just outside the blue line. It makes a huge difference on a power play. And then, as the power play ended, Ovechkin gets the goal from Kuznetsov and Backstrom. It's at 17:10. The penalty was at 4:50, meaning, yeah, that should, or with 4:50 left. So that means that that's exactly 2 minutes. That shouldn't be a power play goal. The app's telling me it's a power play goal. The game results are telling me it's a power play goal as well, putting Washington 1 for 3 on the power play, which would have him break the NHL record for power play goals and put him ahead of Dave Andreychuk. But again, conflicting information. If he passed Andreychuk, cool. If he didn't, he will. So the Wings then press after pulling the goalie because they had to. Absolutely had to pull the goalie. It's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds left when that goal happens. Hagelin with an empty net try. That was defended nicely. And then the empty netter is hit by Ovechkin, who gets his 754th goal. He is 142 now away from Gretzky. Yeah, he's going to get there. Hathaway and Carlson with the assists at 19-19. Doesn't that put him over 50 points too? He's on pace for a ridiculous amount of points, like over 120. It's insane. The Capitals win this one 3-1. Your game winner is Ovechkin in this. The Caps go to 26-7, so they keep pace with the Rangers. For the Wings, they dropped to 15-14-3. They are still the number 2 wild card, but it's going to get dicey if Boston has any success with the games in hand they have against Detroit. So the shots in this one, 11-5 Detroit in the first, 9-4 Washington in the second, 13-5 Washington in the third. They played very well in the second and third. Final shots 27-20 for Washington. Power plays, as I said, Washington, according to the app, is 1 for 3. I don't think that's a power play goal. The announcers didn't think it was a power play goal. I don't think it was announced as a power play goal. Detroit 0 for 3 on theirs. The hits 19-18 for Washington. Samsonov saves 19 out of 20. Relatively quiet night for him. Gray saves 24 out of 26 at the other end. So there you go. The Red Wings played pretty well against one of the top teams, but in the end, these guys, the Capitals, showed why they're one of the top teams. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And once again, when there's fewer games, I tend to spend more time talking about each game. That's just how that works because I make more notes. All right. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you soon.